On this week's upgrade from Magfast, as excitement for September the 10th mounts, we're adding a second date. Can you feel the love? And fun with funnels, the magic of how the internet has allowed us to build an amazing family of you. It's all on the upgrade from Magfast. Are we on? We're on. Hello, welcome to this week's edition of the upgrade from Magfast, your weekly update and upgrade and news and time with Kate. Hey, Kate.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
You are indeed. So this week we're going to do a business edition of the upgrade for you. We get, don't we, Kate, from in the customer service, we get fantastic emails from people who love it when we talk, when we kind of unpack the business a bit and explain a little bit about what we do and how we make it work and the trials and tribulations and so on. We're going to do a little one on that this week. Talking to you. This week's edition is called Fun with Funnels. We'll come on to that in just a second. First of all, let's talk about dates, Kate. Right? Because we've got a date shuffle to do.
Yes.
Talk to us.
September the 10th, still happening, 4 p.m. Eastern. Remember, September the 10th, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 1 p.m. Pacific. Okay,
and all the other times in between, we'll put them. We'll look underneath this video now. There's all the times in other markets as they call it. Now we want to add another date to your calendar, which is October the 8th. October the 8th. And what we're actually doing is just a little shuffle like this. We're going to do Magfast Shares the Future on October the 8th. Why? Because what we have to do is so important. We needed a little bit of extra time to get it ready for you. And also, because we wanted to spend, there's going to be a lot of people coming to that. People who aren't currently part of this kind of inner circle group. And we thought it was important to have a session just with you guys that's just us, just talking about, oh my God, the journey over the last few years, where we are at the moment. We're actually going to go with one of our engineers through, he's a fun engineer, piece by piece through each of the products, so you really get a feeling for the amount of care and attention that's going into each of them. And I think you have a better understanding of why this journey is the way it is. It's going to be a very, very special day. Kate will be there with us. I really, really think that you're going to enjoy it. So if it isn't already in your calendar, please click on the link and put September the 10th into your calendar. Then we'll do Magfast Shares the Future on October the 8th. We don't have a name now for September the 10th, now that October the 8th is Magfast Shares the Future. So what should we call September the 10th?
I think it should be Magfast Shares the Love.
That's it. So Magfast Shares the Love. It's going to be you and Kate and me. We're going to get Sean in for a while. We're also going to do some prizes because we think it's really important that you're there. So we'll give away a bunch of Magfast stuff at the time. And as I say, we really want to dig deep, get under the skin of everything here. We want to honor your commitment to us by fleshing things out in more detail. I think it's going to be a very, very special day. We are going to... should we say about the prizes? We'll tell you about next week. We'll tell you what we're doing with the prizes. But trust me, you want to be there for both of these. You really do want to be there for both of these. So, with that said, anything else now, Kate, or should we get started?
I have some questions that I would like to address. I don't know if you want to do that now or a little later.
Let's do that now. Oh, I know what we were going to say. Listen out for the secret word. Just before we finish up today, we're going to have this week's secret word. Unguessable. Secret word.
We should do something where people try to guess it and then they get extra entries.
Okay. They have to guess next week's word.
Yeah.
Email Kate with what you think next week's word is going to be for extra entries. All right. So this week, I was saying earlier, we get emails coming in about how we run the business, and Magfast is a slightly different business model than maybe traditional for a couple of reasons. One is that it started by you essentially, using the crowdfunding model, where businesses go out and say, hey, we've got this idea for something. Would you be kind enough to pre-order it? We'll make it happen. We're also in a category that today is known as DTC, direct to consumer. Direct to consumer. Did we talk about this before? I can't remember whether we spoke about this before during the upgrades. But whereas in the old days, companies would just make their stuff, and many of our partners do this, make stuff and kind of ship it out to retail. I've got to get my stuff into Target. I've got to get my stuff into Best Buy or whatever. Direct to consumer companies have the relationship directly with their customers. They run the ads. You come to the website. You watch videos and this, that, and the other, emails and so on. And it's much more respectful for both parties, we think, because first of all, the relationship lasts exactly the amount of time that the customer wants it to. Anytime you can, you just click unsubscribe and kind of you're done. You're not also kind of trying to work through a third party. It also works really well for companies because sometimes when you're going through a third party, it's very difficult to establish the soul of the brand. I read a terrible article the other day about all these new food delivery services. They can be like the new ones. What are they called? Postmates and Uber and so on. Of course, they're incredible businesses in their own right, but they're not always great for restaurants because when the food arrives cold, it isn't the delivery service that gets blamed. It's the restaurant that gets blamed, but it's the delivery service that took too long to get it there, kind of thing. And so breaking that relationship with the customer is not good. Forging that relationship is good. That's why. And we know every week we get emails from people saying, why are you making videos instead of making the products? Trust me, we're working flat out on the products. I work from 6 a.m. till 11 o'clock every night. We're working on the products and we're working differently than anybody else does to get them right. But it's also important to work on this relationship, especially if we're asking you to wait while we do the job properly. So direct to consumer kind of a business, the relationship is everything. And that's why we like to have this kind of backwards and forwards. So there's a couple of questions that lead into what we're doing this week, Kate, if you've got them there.
Yes.
You want to just read them? I think Percy wrote into us as one of them, yeah?
Yes, Percy is just wondering, he said that he's interested to learn how the crowdfunding and launching was achieved.
Okay.
And then we have Bob, who said, I would appreciate if I could ask a couple questions about how you approach the customer journey.
Of course, Bob. And so if you've got a specific question, just send it in. All right. So Percy's one that was about the crowdfunding and launching. We're actually going to do a little bit more about that overall arc next week and over the next few weeks as we work through September the 10th and October the 8th. I promise you, it's going to be fascinating. This week, what I want to talk about is what we call the funnel. And I've prepared this slide for you. Fun with funnels. And so what is a kind of a funnel? Are people generally familiar with the word funnel? I never know whether people are generally familiar with the word funnel.
I don't think so.
If you do a Google image search on it, you get something like this. There's all kinds of websites talking about it, so you can read up on it very easily. But basically, the notion is that when a customer kind of comes into a business, there's these various stages, and you'll see different people draw the funnel in different ways and name the stages in different ways. But very broadly, you're going around in the world. You remember there was a time when you had never heard of us, and there was a time when you'd never heard of Starbucks, unbelievably. Right, so you're out there, and the very first stage is that you become aware that something exists because you walk past it or because you see an ad. As a business, you can't get someone to be kind of interested really before they're aware, but they can follow quite close together. We're fortunate at Magfast that very often people see our ads and they get interested quickly. So awareness of the business or the product or service or whatever comes first of all. Then as a business you want to develop interest so that people then move to consideration. So they're considering your product or service. All right. When your product or service is under consideration, then you want to get people to the point where they have an actual intent to become a customer or a pre-order customer or a backer or whatever. Then they'll probably kind of evaluate you a little bit, which can take different forms. It can be maybe looking at competitive products would be one way of evaluating, possibly if friends and family know. Or they might simply kind of evaluate it more internally, which is the kind of the feel of it. Do I feel feel good for being here? That make that kind of internal assessment, and then ultimately leads to kind of a purchase. And ours is sort of very similar to that. We just label it slightly differently here. So this is the sort of the same funnel, but the actual functions that we have that achieve those layers that you just saw. So the first thing we do is that we run some ads online. Okay, because the nature of crowdfunding, especially when it's for a project that has such enormous scope as this, I just want to pause for a moment there. You go, an average kind of classic crowdfunding is someone's invented something, and they raise a bit of money from the crowd and they get it made, and that's really terrific. When we started Magfast, we thought that there was a bigger vision for charging. Now we've been doing it for a little while. We think that there's an insane possibility to build something truly remarkable here. And we're going to talk about that over the next few weeks if you're really interested. But in order to have more people introduced to it, we run the ads on Facebook. It's probably where you first saw it. You might have seen us on YouTube, possibly one or two other places, but mainly those. And we invite folks to come to the presentation, what we call the long-form presentation. Occasionally, for my sins, I sometimes call it the show, just because in the marketing industry they call these things shows. But we invite you to this the long presentation that you've probably seen, where I go through and articulate why it is that charging kind of sucks at the moment, and it's time to reinvent it a little bit. At the presentation, we make, for people who are there, and thank you, because I know many of the folks here watching have done this and have supported us, we make an ask or an offer. We say, we ask, will you help us? Will you support us? Make a little deal. If you'll help us out, we'll give you a break on it, and so on. And then folks look at then people review it. They take a look. Do I like the offer? Do I like the people? Do I like the guy? And then maybe hopefully place a pre-order after that. And the thing that we're monitoring the whole time from the top to the bottom is this thing called ROAS or MER. All right, so what is ROAS or MER? Do you know what these are, Kate? You know what either of these stand for?
Return on...
No. There you go.
Advertising?
Advertising spend, return on advertising spend. Which is sometimes called ROI, return on investment, but it's specific to advertising. It's also sometimes in the industry called MER, or marketing efficiency ratio. And it's basically, if you spend $1 on advertising, how many dollars come in varies enormously from one business to another. Ours is not as high as we want it to be. It's something that we're working on the whole time. But this is the kind of thing that you might have seen online. One of these ads of usually me. Strangely, we've got ads running that, like this, are unscripted, where I'm just talking for a few minutes, and they've done very, very well for us earlier this year. But a few weeks ago, we started a new experiment with ads that look like this. And I'm here to tell you that they have been outperforming me significantly over the last few weeks. We're still in testing. The market's been up and down and crazy. It's also a factor with Facebook advertising that their auction, because when you advertise on Facebook and these other places, you're basically in an auction to show the ads, right? The auction tends to prefer newer ads than older ads. But nevertheless, we're really, really thrilled. And who wouldn't rather have Kate showing up in their timeline than me? Let's be honest. All right. So the next stage after the ad is people click on the ad, and then they come to a page like this. Here's Kate's version of the page. It's called the landing page, and that's where there's a little bit more explanation, and we ask people to pick a time and give their email address, and we respect email addresses. The email that brought you to the presentation, to this upgrade that you're watching now, right at the bottom, there's unsubscribe. We always honor that. We even have, I don't know anyone else who has this, we have an unsubscribe link on our homepage because we think it's so important to be honorable in that regard. But anyway, so here we put in email, a first name and email. We put the Trustpilot symbol on there because we're highly rated on Trustpilot. We think that's an important reminder so people feel good and feel trusting about putting in their information. And then just off the bottom of the screen there, we say, if you'd like us to text you, to text you a reminder before the presentation starts. We will do that. And I'm always very surprised that about 60% of people put in their phone number. If you're one of those people, thank you so much. Thank you for trusting us with that. We just do reminders for that. We will do some reminders for upcoming September the 10th and October the 8th as well, because it's an important thing. But you can reply with stop anytime to remove there as well, same as the rest of the industry. All right. So that brings you to the long form presentation. So this is where we're trying to get people to move into consideration, right? Because they're a little bit interested in this. Who's this? What are these guys doing? This is where, and we do something that is unusual, which is to do a really careful presentation of what we're doing. We think if we're going to ask you to trust us well in advance of receiving products with some money, and to trust us and to spend time with us, and then to trust us when it becomes more time than we were expecting it to be. We think it's really important to do this long form presentation so you really know what you're getting into. And Kate occasionally has to deal with people who say, well, and almost always the answer was right in the presentation. They just took a phone call during it or whatever, or they tuned out and started watching TV or whatever. But we do try to cover everything and make it really, really plain throughout that what this is. It's a group of, I think, reasonably smart people. Certainly the other folks are smart, working to do something really, 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 really different. All right. The next piece after that is, after explaining what it is we're doing, we have the famous orange button comes up, and that links you through here to this page. We call it the selector, the checkout selector. And that's where people can choose if they want different colors, and can pick up the Pro Kit if they would like to. And I just want to zoom in there, because, doesn't it look great these days? This is another of the things that has just, the products themselves have come on in leaps and bounds while they've been developed, and our ability to show them, I think, has really come on as well. And then the funnel, why is it called? I haven't actually explained why it's called a funnel, have I? So why is it called a funnel? Well, because the numbers get smaller as you go down. Right? The ads are seen by large numbers of people, right, Kate? I mean, I don't know what the numbers are these days. It's probably, the thing about online advertising is it gets shown to a lot of people, and then a much smaller number of people take action. So huge number of people see the ads, much smaller number of people click on the ads and come to the website. Then a smaller number of people, and God bless you because you're one of them, register to attend the event, right? Mm-hmm. Attend the event. Most people who register show up for the event. Most people who show up for the event make it to the end of the event, and then if the people who come out of the end of the event, a gratifying number of people choose to support us by pre-ordering a Pro Kit. So, but it looks kind of like that. And this would be the same for, I'm describing our business, but I'm only describing it so that you can understand how it could possibly be helpful for your business. You want to fatten every stage of the funnel. Remember I showed you the Trustpilot symbol earlier on? That is so that a larger number of people who come to the web page choose to register because they feel safe, because they've seen Trustpilot. Other people have checked this out. They've said it's a 4.7 stars or whatever it is. Maybe I'm okay around here, right? So you want to fatten each of these levels. So you want ads like Kate's ad in the test the other weekend was doing better than my ad. So we put more money into that ad, less money into my ad. So the dollars that you're putting in here result in more people coming to the next level. So you want to be working on each stage of the funnel. And I'm actually, excuse me, I'm actually working on updating the main presentation, the show, right now. It hasn't been updated in a while. The products are recognizable, but unrecognizably better. They're so much better than we originally showed you. It's time to update that. And that's been a huge project. And hopefully more people will stay longer watching the presentation. More people will come out of the bottom, and that overall will improve the ROAS, the return on advertising spend, or the MER, the marketing efficiency ratio. And then once folks are in the family, you're in the family. You might recognize this slide actually from the presentation. Remember this one, Katie, where we say the point about Magfast is that because it's a system, it's a family of people, it's a family of products that all work together. We can help you with all different areas of your life, including, like, there's one or two more spokes there with question marks beside them, because we've got some very, very exciting stuff to reveal in the coming weeks, and I'm really excited to show those to you when the time comes. So there's a sort of circle. People come in. Maybe they become a pre-order customer or a customer then. Maybe they don't. Stay on the mailing list, let you know when we've got new stuff. And then eventually we're going to have a program where if you love what we're doing, you can sort of share the news and earn points and this, that, and the other for doing so. So the whole thing becomes what's it called? A virtuous cycle. A virtuous cycle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I hope that's a little bit helpful. I wanted to say one thing about. I want to emphasize something about ads. I, in the past, myself, and I know plenty of people, Katie, who have run some ads on Facebook or elsewhere, and they've gone, online advertising doesn't work, or Facebook advertising doesn't work. And here's the answer. Clearly it does, or companies wouldn't spend, or Facebook wouldn't be one of the biggest companies in the world. Google wouldn't be one of the biggest companies in the world. Because people will waste $100 on advertising that doesn't work, but they won't waste $20,000 and $100,000 and this sort of thing. The reason people think it doesn't work is they don't test enough. You need to be running lots of different ads with different headlines, different scripts, different people. We're planning right now. We haven't done it yet, but we've had me on the ads forever. We do the upgrades with you, Kate. Everyone loves Kate, so like, well, Kate, would you be kind enough to record an ad for us? Should we play one of the Kate ads?
Oh gosh.
I think we should play a Kate ad. Roll a Kate ad right now. Come on, let's roll it.
Okay. I'm sure you love your iPhone like I do, so let me ask you something. Shouldn't the way you charge your device be just as good? I mean, don't you think that chargers are pretty crappy and you have messy wires everywhere that you have to untangle? But what's crazy is that your phone actually charges wirelessly. That's wirelessly. You don't even need the wires. Hi, I'm Kate, and my boss Seymour Segnet is the inventor of Magfast, a whole family of next generation wireless magnetic chargers. I feel really excited now because this new product video just came in from our awesome animator Philip. It showcases Magfast Air, a wireless charger that many people are getting for free when they pre-order some of our stuff. Check it out, and if you like it, I'll let you know how you can get one too.
Magfast Air reimagines what's possible in Qi wireless charging. Beautiful glossy contours enclose a powerful dual-coil Qi certified premium wireless charging system for all your Android, Apple, and other devices. Place one horizontally or vertically, and instantly our induction system communicates with it to maximize power delivery and ensure a safe, fast charge. Designed for lifetime durability and fun, this stand doesn't fold down or flip out, it snaps firmly, magnetically, and fast. Magfast, both onto the back for simple storage and underneath to stand on your desk or countertop. Air's precision geometry is calibrated to position your devices at a perfect 69-degree viewing angle to maximize your productivity. By now, you already have many micro USB cables like this, but the future is USB-C like this, so Air accepts either when you want to power it by itself. And Air, of course, is Magfast Air, so like every other Magfast family product, it works magically with all your other Magfast chargers too. Snap on any of your Magfast power banks for a super stylish, truly wireless portable wireless charging stand. Or keep your phone away from big spills and little fingers by snapping Air right on top of your Magfast wall for one of the world's first outlet-mounted Qi wireless chargers. So Air is awesome on its own, perfect with all our power banks, and wonderful on Magfast wall. And of course, we plant yet another tree for every Magfast charger ordered. Magfast Air reimagines what's possible in Qi wireless charging.
Isn't that cool? So you can feel the excitement about these new chargers, all 6 of them. We have a little while before we ship, but right now we're offering this great pre-order package. It's called a Pro Kit, and it gets you several chargers for free. We would love to get your feedback, so would you please join us later today or tomorrow and take a look? We'll give you a whole background of Magfast and a fun product preview. Then, just for signing up, I will put you in our $1,000 drawing to win a bunch of the latest technology, including some of our next generation chargers. So click on Learn More to pick the best time for you today or tomorrow. We can't wait to show you these new inventions.
There, you see? She's fantastic.
I'm embarrassed.
That's why twice the clicks. That's why. So we thought, Kate is fantastic. She's amazing. All right. So we said, would you mind? Would you record an ad? We did a little ad with Kate. It's doing great. Maybe when we do the new presentation, we should have Kate do the new presentation as well, because we just want people to love it as much as possible. And again, who would you rather have in your feed? So testing as much as possible. So there we've done a big test between, a younger woman and an older gentleman. And we're going to try doing some other things as well. Amy and I, many of you know our daughter Hudson, with Hudson saying, I'd like to do an ad telling people about Dad's project. So we'll run an ad. And if it performs, that'll be great. I
think Hudson will be the most popular. I think people will.
Well, we'll see. Because if it doesn't work, we're cutting her pocket money. No, she's fantastic, and with kids, of course, it's a great experience. Anyway, it's like a fun thing to have on your resume, isn't it? I recorded some ads for a magnetic charger company. So. All right, I think that's enough on the funnel. But advertising does work. It wouldn't be this enormous industry if it didn't. But you do have to test. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. Kate, remind us of the dates again: September the 10th and October the
8th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for both of those.
Yeah, on both days it's going to be that. We are going to be. I mustn't say anymore. I'm really, really, really excited about it. All right, and we should do, quickly before we go, we should do this week's secret word is...
Yes, love.
Yes, love or love?
No, sorry. This week's secret word is love.
Love. This week's secret word is love. Magfast shares the love. This week's secret word is love. All right, so you know what to do. There's a link right underneath this. You click on it, you go. You might have to log in with Gleam or whatever. Fill it in. Extra chances to win in the monthly $1,000 draw. All right, so it's September the 10th, October the 8th. We love you. Thank you, Katie.
Bye.
See you next week.